All I can say is we, the people, want some accountability.
Yes,
We
ma'am.
want some accountability in what's going on here. And that accountability can take many forms. And one form we're talking about today, which I totally think we need to be pushing as the people of America, is this thing called impeachment. I mean, when you have a president of the United States that flouts international law, when indeed he commits the country to a war of aggression that is outlawed, we, the people, have to stand up. We, the people, have to take our country back. We've got examples of people, not just me, resigning from the diplomatic corps about what was going on, that indeed this war didn't follow any of the criteria that you're supposed to have for a just war, getting the Security Council to agree to it, or this being something that is so vital to your national security that indeed you have to have a strike right then. We didn't have any of that. We didn't have a humanitarian disaster that was going on. It didn't meet any of the criteria for a just war. Indeed, it was a crime of aggression. And indeed, a colleague from the UK, the Deputy Legal Counsel of the UK, also resigned in March of 2003, the same time I did, Elizabeth Willemshurst. And in her letter of resignation, she, the Deputy Legal Counsel of the Foreign and Commonwealth Office of the UK, said going to war under the circumstances that have been outlined by the US to the UK would be a war of aggression, a war crime. She was right on the money, and 10-1, when we find the documents from our own government, 10-1 our legal counsels of our major bureaus, our major departments, were probably telling our president the same thing. These are documents that haven't surfaced yet, but give them time, because they're out there. We know they're out there. It's the accountability of taking a country to war, the accountability of, if you are in a war, even if it's just, how you conduct that war. And indeed, this shock and awe that Marcus was talking about, shock and awe, gratuitous, unnecessary levels of violence that cause incredible harm to innocent civilians. These are violations of the law of land warfare, the Geneva Conventions that we, the United States, have signed on to. This administration has committed the war of aggression. It's committed violations of the Geneva Convention. It's committed violations in torture. That's the one that we get the pictures in our faces. Lots of people that need to be held accountable. We have a chief warrant officer who was court-martialed just a couple of weeks ago. He was convicted of negligent homicide for stuffing an Iraqi general inside a sleeping bag and then suffocating him, sitting on his back and suffocating him. He was convicted of negligent manslaughter, and his peers in the U.S. Army have let him off. There is no accountability going on here, and our country is suffering. Our military, the military I served 29 years, is getting unbelievably broken. It's being broken physically, it's being broken morally. We have a responsibility as people of the country to hold our Congress accountable and the executive accountable. If we don't hold the Congress accountable and force them to first have a commission of inquiry followed by articles of impeachment if warranted, and I certainly think they will be warranted, then we are just as complicit as the guy that said we're going to war in Iraq and we are just going to go. So we the people have to force this. And it's happening. There are commissions, just as Ray McGovern said just a minute ago. Last week, a commission in New York City, over 1,000 people attended a 2-day conference. There are conferences that have been held in California. They've been held in Istanbul. They're being held all over the country, all over the world, because everybody in the world knows what this administration has done. So you, the people in this room, It's up to you. It's up to you to go to your neighbors. It's up to your neighbors to go to their relatives. All over the country, we have to get out on the streets to get our Congress moving. We have an election coming up. We've got to get people in there. And one of the criteria for voting for a person would be, will you support, will you submit articles of impeachment against this administration?